Last time we made the automatic ultimate control circuit maker and also the RUNIC star altar. Well, this time I want to construct the RUNIC star altar and even make the Patrick star. Now, of course, the RUNIC star altar deserves its own building within this Japanese village that we have going on, because let's be honest, it's looking a little bit sparse. We've not added to it for quite some time now. However, I don't have the time for that today, unfortunately. So for right now, what we're going to do is make it next to our automatic forge. When it comes to constructing the RUNIC star forge, we place down the RUNIC star altar block first, hover with a wrench over it, and it will show you how to construct the thing. So I'm just going to go and follow this. One trick they did learn is if you have the wrench in your offhand, you can place blocks at the same time, meaning doesn't have to disappear on you all the time. So that's pretty cool. And instead of me explaining how you actually build this thing, I'll just leave it to a time lapse, because I'm sure you guys know how to build this thing. And we were almost there with finishing the altar. However, we ran out of rune blocks and arcane crystal blocks. So a quick trip to the mines sorted that out for us. And now we can place the last of the blocks. Until we get to the Utrum jars, because I thought it was just to use any Utrum jars, they don't have to be filled with anything, blah blah blah. Then it said the shape was invalid, which means we are going to have to fill them with something. Now what that something is aura. I don't think it has to be specifically aura, but I did choose aura, and you couldn't put aura in the Utrum jars, you couldn't just link it up, say, to my automatic or real arm that I'm using for the automatic forge. You have to use the aura bottles. Now, these can be a little bit difficult to make because you need potion of regeneration too. And we could sit here and make them manually, but that's going to take some time, especially because we need to fill 4 of these jars. We only get about 35 aura per one bottle, and the jar can hold about 10,000 aura to be filled, which means we're going to need about 300 per jar, roughly. And because we have 4 jars, that's about 1,200 potions. There's no way I'm going to sit here and make 1,200 potions myself. So we need an automatic way of setting that up. And the way I thought of doing it without going into applied energistics and getting all too complicated with it was with the potion brewer from Industrial Foregoing. Now this isn't fully automatic, it's only semi-automatic, but we can make as many as we need, which is only about 1,200. So all I did was place down the potion brewer, making sure it had power. We fed it an infinite water source for the bottles. We fed it a load of bottles, fed it a load of blaze powder. So we have the minimum requirements of water bottles and water with blaze powder to get this thing working. And now we just need to throw in the actual ingredients, which is nether wart, gas tears, and glowstone. So I made a dedicated drawer for each of those, piping it into the potion brewer, and then from the potion brewer into another drawer where it will store our potions of regeneration too. Now that that's finished and crafting away, we'll leave that to be for some time. We need to get about 8,000, possibly even 9,000 arcane crystals, so a hell of a lot of mining ahead of me, which I'll do off camera. And after about a day, we were ready to craft our aura bottles. Now, annoyingly, these only stack in variants of 16, so we can't exactly carry 1,200 bottles of aura on us at this point in time. So we're going to have to do this in a couple of crafting sessions. Once we had filled up our inventory with aura bottles, it was head on over to our Utrum jars, and we could start then filling them up. Now, I'd already filled up at least one of these off camera just to speed the process up a little bit. And now that those Utrum jars are filled and in position, technically this thing is now complete. However, we're missing the key components of an item input, an item output, as well as an energy input. First one we're going to make is the energy input, and we can achieve this by using 2 Enderium gears, 2 ultimate control circuits, 2 Mundabitter dust, and a quantum injector with dark polished stone in the center. And we need one item, but before we get that one specific item, we're going to need to use the atomic reconstructor to get some redstone crystals. Once we have those redstone crystals, we can then make our item, which is an energy laser relay. Throw all that stuff inside of our automatic forge, and it will craft us our energy hatch. We can then give that an end gate, giving this thing power. Now onto the item input and output, and we can use the same process. However, this time we're going to throw an energy laser relay onto the atomic reconstructor, reconstruct it into a fluid relay, and then throw that fluid relay back onto the atomic reconstructor to turn it into an item relay. Throw those same items into the automatic forge, and that will give us an item input. And we need to do this again. However, this time with one of the item input hatches, we need to put it into a crafting table, which will then output as a item output hatch. We can then throw these 2 hatches on the front, and we are now ready to construct the Patrick Star. But we need all the concrete and concrete powder. When it comes to the Patrick Star, again, I'm going to semi-automate this by getting my ME system to automatically craft the components needed to make the Patrick Star. However, I'm going to have to put in the actual recipe of the Patrick Star myself for now. So using molecular assemblers and some pattern providers, and the correct patterns of pink concrete powder, lime concrete powder, green concrete powder, etc, etc. Throwing those things inside of the correct pattern providers with assemblers underneath them, we could then start auto crafting the components for the Patrick Star. So that's what I did. I requested 100 of each of the required items, and then started to head over to the RUNIC Star altar. Now, when I put in every single item, it wouldn't craft. Now, that's simply because I thought I'd constructed the thing wrong. I didn't. It was simply because I missed out green concrete powder. Once I'd rectified my mistake and put in some green concrete powder, it actually made them, and it made as many as it possibly could. Once it had made as many as it possibly could, we could claim the quest and have one component for the All the Mod Star. However, we could actually get 2, because whilst off camera, I set up a way of transporting all of my Inferium to Supremium, and then sending that Supremium straight into my ME system, and we could make a load of Insanium. So using a Master Infusion Crystal with Insanium gem blocks and just some normal Insanium blocks, we could then craft ourselves one creative essence. Now that creative essence is another component to the All for Mods star. So we've actually crafted 2 today, but that will do us for today's episode. So thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and smash that like button so you don't miss another episode of All the Mods 10. If you have missed any of the episodes, there's a full playlist on the channel, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Goodbye.
No, this is Patrick.